Uh-oh, is that you that's speaking? So we do have some, oh, thank you. We do have some folks joining us online. I did have some prizes and little networking activity. I don't know how many people actually did it, but that's okay. We can maybe actually just take a few minutes to do it now. Does that seem good? And then I do want to incorporate our online folks, online friends. I'm not going to have the opportunity to actually give you prizes, but we'll give you lots of thumbs up and shout outs and thank you for your participation. So maybe if we could just each take turns to very quickly, and we'll have to do this quick because we do have a pretty full agenda. While this is important, we also have some other competing priorities too. If you could share your name, any other identities that you'd like to share, that could include pronouns, that could include race or anything else that's important to you, that you'd like to share with others. What is your role? Are you an action board member? Are you an educator? Are you a service provider? Are you a student? And what is your ideal pet? And why are you part of the YHDP work, and how can others support you in your work? Would anyone like to kick us off, or should I just start calling up folks? Thank you. And you'll have to speak up as loud as you can. I don't mind.
Hi everyone, I'm Savannah. I'm a youth action board member, and youth action board member, and I am part of the YHDP work because I was just telling you, it's just something I'm super passionate about. I never want anyone to go through stuff that I went through, and if I can help anybody at all to find housing and create a better life for themselves, then I feel like it's just like I feel like me, you know. My ideal pet is about real dogs, and yeah, it's like well, it pleases us. Thanks.
And if at any point, as people are introducing themselves, if you see a place where you where you feel like there's a good connection there, I encourage you to chat with each other at some point. Let me hear from the rest.
You can let us finish chewing.
I'm so sorry. I'm just getting demanding now.
Yeah. I was actually in high school that you fine, Christian go and play and talk, and then I could do in class. Yeah, but I did the same thing today. During lunch, I could go talk to everyone instead of eating lunch. And now you can hear the activity, but hi everyone, my name is Linda Guerra. I'm the coordinator with our county meeting of care. Action board of my favorite team. And as you know, we've been cooperating with you working on this application, virtually as these funded, and get together a system for you. Navigating our system of care and really getting those players right and make a difference. Everyone has had one person, right? So we really encourage every agency to be partner with you to do that one thing. So thank you all for being here. Thank you. I have 2 dogs. I have a husky. So if anyone in the room is stuff like a. Anyway, just say, because she needs a lot of care, but if I could hold any of those, which one is it like girl? Yes. They're like super cute, they're like kids fighters, but they're legal here. But I'm here on YouTube. Anyway.
I'm experiencing actually it's my dog, but it also be a dog. He's dog, other dogs, you know. I want one, one says no, I said I get one. Yeah. And I just felt like it made opportunities and also about the experience with practical thinking and part something. And I feel like that's like really getting development to help people. They talk to help me. And we have to like just spread the awareness that's happening, you know, that you can really
And then probably in I suppose you that's the well,
Hey, John, okay. Okay, your name is Kay. Terry. Terry, I'm so sorry. I'm like that today.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, you said. Terry Stevens. Yes, I can.
Oh my gosh, you can, I don't know.
Maureen?
Yes, your sister is and your brother's name.
Yes.
Yes.
It looks like it's amazing. I just noticed. Back table.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Travis Martinez. I am, my role is I'm a homeless youth liaison for Wellness School District, located in the city of Manatee. I want to say for the other school district in Manatee. My ideal pet, there's a dragon, but then let's not about it. Doesn't get around being your best friend. So, my ideal pet would be a dog, but lack of pets right now, so. And why did I join the HPP? I've been telling other staff that helping with my is I feel that there's a lot of great resources that our county has to offer that are very easy to use for partner there. And I think that one part of what we tell about how we're going to be is the schools. And it's a great way to like bridge that that lack of information and share those resources and that regional awareness. How can I support you in your way? We're always looking for resources. We're always looking for community events. I try to prioritize free and low cost for our families. But if you have anything that's coming up that you'd like to share with the community, please feel free to send my way, and I can share them with our families either posting it on our website or sharing it in their paper targeted so they can enjoy it.
Great, exchange information on page.
I'm fine. I'm with 100% County Public Health, Family Planning. And we provide a lot of services, for the community, but our main focus with, family planning is youth service. So we provide what's called teen clinics. So our teens can come into any of our county locations from 12 to 26 years old. And they can get free confidential, no insurance needed, or parent or guardian needed as well. And just walk in and get our services for nurses and hours for STD, birth control, or to contraception, or just to talk and get education. And the closest one here is right actually right across the street. Is our private location, but and we also do a lot of presentations as well for our county districts and different organizations. I know we've done a presentation for the Population Safe House. We work with Rango Valley and the Harrisburg districts as well. And we're just here to offer a lot of services that, like she said, before the county offers so many things that are free, especially within public. We offer a nurse family partnership program that helps young moms that are pregnant, follow them for 2 years of their life. We have a Black health program that really focuses on African-American health with infants and with our African-American families that need that help as well. And so there's so many things that the county does that are free, even offer lead testing in the homes for free. So there's a lot of stuff, and we're really just advocates for just letting everybody know about our services. I feel that I was in my history on my dragon. I love capybaras. I think they're great. The funniest, cutest looking animal. Why I started to work with YHTP is again just because I know that our youth needs it more than anything. I was a teenager, but I didn't need as many resources when I was young as more teenagers need nowadays. And I just want to get them the right education, the right information so that they can feel educated and empowered to take care of not just their health, but their vision health.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Beth Parent and I deal with the county and Riverside. I work about 3 minutes down the street, behavioral health. So we're an outpatient clinic, but we do have adolescent counselors that go out into schools and they spread thin. They don't be resources. So I'm here to take notes and report back. We always are looking for new resources. And we do have program transitional as we do 5 years time. There's a lot of activity going on in the county with adolescents. But any resources I can bring back, greatly. And I'm a dog. Thank you.
Annie?
And Annie, like, one of the director of student services, is such for living in schools, grateful. And I am here because I oversee everything related to students, including health services and our homeless and foster youth and getting a small stop shop. And my ideal pet is a dog lover. And I'm really excited to learn more. I transitioned from protecting around this bed, so I'm very new in our role. So I'm going to find better support and help out in there.
Want to introduce yourself?
Hi.
I can't read that one. Yeah. It's really like voting inside of the national heavy on this university encouragement to inspire them and be on the road. And also another thing is that I just want them to that to not become my pastures because just want to learn this story.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dawson Garcia Rojas. I'm Chair of the Riverside County Workforce Development Division. My role is I do special projects, including in the entire regional planning unit. My ideal pet are cats that have two. Since I'm living the life, I'm doing the journey. The reason we became a part of YHBP was because we started working in relationship with one of our sister brother partners in our divisions with the CSC, and also trying to mend that bridge. And through our resources, learn more about the resources, and definitely, and that's just what Marie and I were brought into resource project like this, to definitely think more about the needs in our community. Our community support me. I think just being here, being present, showing up, and definitely speaking about the work you do reflects to us and being able to see how we can align what we're doing.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. If you haven't already heard from me earlier this morning, my name is Melania. Dawn Specialist at Workforce Development Division alongside Jocelyn. So what is involved here? We're here for the workforce development, we also to see how we can create resources or further collaborate at different levels to ensure that our youth are not just putting the way for resources, but also employed or employable and given the necessary career benefits. That's a lot of resources, but my ideal pet, I do not have one, but I'm fascinated by seafood. If I could have a pet, I would have a seahorse.
Oh, I'm with you. Those are awesome.
Right?
They're so cool. Yes.
So keeping off the conversation, keeping off of that possibility, and we take it back and how can we be better, how can we be so let us know how we can support you. We're here to be of service. You tell us what you need to do. It's Thank you.
My name is Laura Gomez. I'm with the city of Riverside. I am the outreach services manager. I'm new to this role. So I'm still here, so I think it's good. Let's see, we basically, my dual pet is the dog. I have a chocolate lab, Lola. She's wonderful. She's wonderful. She's my kid. Why we part of this basically just to get resources and bring it back to our communities, work with the homeless population and house, with the families and young adults and adults, and basically just getting resources that can very much help for us. So thank you for letting me be part of it. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. William B. Jones, City of Riverside, talking about the services. I see now specialist by title. David Fields and Ted, celebrating. My role with the YSDP is I was part of the data team that helped write the CCP. Contributing more. I'd love to give.
No, that's a big lift, so thank you for that.
And as far as my deal with that, that would be my old York Secretary, Mateo. I call him Matt. That's my dog. I'm a part of the YSDP work because I was introduced to it by Director Michelle Davis. I've been able to glean a lot of different insight and had a lived experience myself. I'll share it all the time. I do have lived experience as a young adult. I see how much it makes a difference to be able to be fluid. I also need course, but again, like we said yesterday, I'm willing to help take that hand up, not a hand up. I see how much this resource makes a difference in the whole of everything. That's why part of my life, and I can help support you in your life because we have the way I can help support you in your life is that we have a bi-weekly and Monday meetings where we come with this part of these things that come together every other week. To but alleviate homelessness, make it breathe, budgetary money.
Being rare, non-reimbursed.
And non-recurring, right? So we have about Monday meeting at the city of Riverside. I was open to 20 p.m. already. And thank you for that.
Thanks.
County resides currently former street and probation, ages 16 to 21. My ideal pet is a cat. But well, I was introduced to it at a YAC meeting. Very curious what the county of Riverside can do $7 million and how I can help. So that's why I'm a part of it. And then I just, yeah. I thought, what was that? How can we be part of the community resources, but not, was it community resources?
Yeah.
Community outreach, yes, thank you. Forgive me. And how can I support them and why? We problem and questions and I have answers, and feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm Nikki Kamong. I go by She, Her. My role is I am the GAT chair. I'm also the program manager for the extended foster care program in Olive Crest. My ideal pet, I'm not a cat person, so I'm living in my house with about attitude. So I do have dogs. I have a little miniature Brazilian pincher that has very high anxiety needs, go figure. Why am I part of the YHDP? Because when we got first started looking into the population, it just fell with their history, their germs, everything, just, new friends of the company of signals that sent them to leave, to make them away. So I just find great passion in that, how it's for me to hear why. I love networking. I love trying to put people together, but the other agency and sources that can help them. I guess like they're very remote, and that's the only way people can survive. Is you have to put together and cooperate, so that's kind of how I do that, and the specialty and that kind of doing is something that really understands. Yeah. And that is news.
Hello, everyone. My role is community program specialist with the CFC. So I work a lot with coordinating youth services. My ideal pet, I've always been a dog person growing up. Unfortunately, all three of my dogs passed away. So I feel like if I were to have a pet, probably would have dog. I don't know. I feel like I get like so much attached to them. You know, it's always a bad experience. But anyways, the reason why I'm a part of I contribute every possible to anything preventing youth homelessness in our county. And I think that one of the greatest feelings over these last 7 months has been the path of the collaboration that we've had with all the agencies and impacting these lives by getting them the resources. You know, that's something great, something that unfortunately my family has experienced when we had our experience. So I feel like it's been very rewarding. And then how can I support, how can we support it? I mean, you know, I think just connecting us with more resources, webinars, things like that, you know, like more training. I feel like that would be great. So yeah, thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Celine Martinez. I am the member of the CFC. I'm actually going to be turning like a month after there. But so I've been learning a lot about the RFP process. I was previously with Supervisor Gutierrez's office with the board of supervisors. And I did help with human services there. So I did get to actually work with constituents and basically contacted regarding their situation with, you know, homelessness and things of that nature. So I was able to work with QOC and different departments to be able to connect them to those resources. So it's nice to be able to actually see like the work that is being done and to be able to give all the programs and partners. So that's really awesome. And yeah, my ideal pet is like a little small fluffy dog that I would love to have in but we don't like animals like that, and I think that's a big responsibility. So I'll just, if anyone wants to bring a dog one day and let me pet them for like an hour, that would be great. And so yeah, so but it's rewarding to be able to be a part of it and contribute the little I have, but also just to be the outcome and how everybody works for this. And thank you all for that.
Please. Those that I haven't met with something to Williams room, each of put up with the next four, tell them. My name's Grace, I'm the program coordinator here for now. And part of the primary responsibilities are managing the staff that I work with, for them on leader. This is the most fact that it's a data validation that most fact that help provide the services to the communities, pretty much and then you put a mission right now, a part of the thing. And then again, those that aren't, they're still a part of it. Because we're going to put services. But pretty much anything around. It's not just restricted, but that safe place, a comfortable place, private place, do several computers, a lot of jobs, you know, and be with friends. But don't turn in the it's not relevant. Of course, there are those eligibility requirements that are right away, which I'm not sure right now. I have a couple of pets that look dogs, ones that are really young, almost had one yesterday. You might have today. Who knows? But a dog, yeah, dogs are probably okay. But why I do this with rights to people, I get this awesome. It's part of what's ingrained in me with some lived experience. I can notice 17, 18 years old. There's always been spotted in my life, so I got a little bit of background on that, and I don't like to see anybody go through that part of it, but I got experience as a young person. So
that was probably within the past thing from first time down, exposed to the pit counts. Way back, I think it started in 2015 on focusing on youth, and then that's just what we're doing. So that's why I do that. And how can I support?
That's a typo.
What? Really, that's anything I can do to support, it's very youth that's in this room. So we'll do that, you know, and they were, this is like, and we can't do this without you, honestly. There's still be no way. Thanks for being there today.
I should also introduce myself, and then I'm going to turn over to the folks that are joining us online. We have a couple of people. I am Megan Atchison. I do use she, her pronouns. I'm with the National Center for Homeless Education, and I provide education technical assistance to YHDP communities on top of other pieces of work that I do with my team in terms of just homeless education programs. My ideal pet, I do have 2 dogs, but I would love an elephant. Elephants are cool, but I want to be able to have like, and seahorses are cool. Yeah, the seahorses are fascinating. But I would want to have like, I wouldn't just like in my small yard. I would want it to have like, it's habitat. I want to be able to use it. So that would be my ideal pet. Why am I part of YHDP work? I'm just part of the work that I do in general because I truly believe that we live in a country where nobody should ever experience homelessness. Like it's ridiculous that anybody would ever experience homelessness. And so I, as an organization that contracts with the federal department and works with HUD, I try to do what I can within those contacts, those systems to try to change the system, which is an uphill battle in itself. But and really, how can we connect? I think education is a really, really important piece. Whether it's finishing high school or getting a certificate program, or getting a college degree or getting an apprenticeship or any of those things that are of interest to that person, I think it's really valuable to be able to get connected with employment that is meaningful to individuals. You know, we go to work wanting to do the work that we're doing and getting paid a living wage to do it. So I really try to work in those systems to help make those connections with folks to help support that work. How can I support you and your why? Whatever I can do as my technical assistant ends in September to help you all if you would like to build those that framework so we can continue this collaboration. That's what I can hopefully offer at this point because it's something that's helpful to you. And with that, so folks joining us online, I invite you to either answer these questions in the chat or would love to hear your voices if you would like to come off mute.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsay Sisti with the City of Murrieta. Kind of oversee all things homeless in our city, including sheltering, outreach. I just appreciate the email to allow us to join virtually. Always open to hear any new resources we can utilize to help our youth.
Thanks, Lindsay. Somebody says hi if you can't hear them. Would anybody else like to introduce themselves, either coming off mute or putting it in the chat? Ty says, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Desaya. I'm with the YA board, and I just wanted to learn some more information on this meeting. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. And any questions that come up for you, just drop them in the chat. We've got some people monitoring the chat. So.
Okay, thank you.
And Ty says, hello, I am Ty, currently a Youth Action Board member. I go by he, him pronouns. An ideal animal I would want to be a bird that talks to me. Thank you, Ty. Thanks for being here.
No problem.
Anybody else? So for our online folks, I know what it's like to be sitting in the space of seeing, not feeling like you're quite connected what's happening. I'll do my best to try to keep you engaged in this, but there's going to be some times where you're all doing your own thing in the virtual world, and then our folks here online, in person will be doing their own things. So I will do my best to try to integrate these two, but this is kind of just what happens. So if you're feeling confused or lost or have questions or want to come off mute at any point, please just go ahead and put anything in the chat or raise your hand or just unmute yourself and say, hey, pause, I want to say something. So I just want you to feel as included in this space as possible. And with that, I'm going to go off camera, but the mic will still be on, and please engage with us as you are comfortable. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's this. Well, welcome. This is the Education and Employment Workshop. I know we've had some folks that were not able to join last minute. I had a few people say that they had to change their plans, which happens. So I do have some Jam boards that they'll be able to add their information to, but we do have some activities. So with that, I'm just going to go over what we're going to do today. So we've got several activities to really support the completion of your draft coordinated. So as Monique had mentioned earlier, your coordinated plan has been submitted to HUD. It's under review. And the goals, objectives, and action steps are not due until August 1st. This is new as of this round, so my brain is still trying to wrap around what that means, because in my mind, all the pieces kind of inform the other piece. But we do have some drafted goals and objectives and action steps by your wonderful youth action board. So we're going to quickly review those so that you can see what they look like. We're going to review some key themes from those qualitative questionnaires that were sent out, and I'll just provide a little more context on that in a moment. And then we're going to really start to, based on what has already been drafted, we're going to see if there's some places where we can integrate education in there and give you all an opportunity to think about, is there an additional education and employment goal that we would like to add based on what I share with you on those key themes that have been that came out of those qualitative questionnaires. So we've got some activities that I'm going to integrate. We're all going to get to work together and tables, and I'll explain that in just a moment. And then we're going to identify some opportunities for continuing to develop this process in collaboration. I was really hoping that Elizabeth Bartholomew from Riverside County Office was going to join us. She said yes, but then I guess she had to change her RSVP because she does hold a lot of roles in her job, so I get it. And I think that she'll be able to provide us with maybe some areas where we can get you all engaged more in what's happening with the team employees of the school districts. That's really important for them to understand the work that you're doing. It really helps them do their job too. So I would like to really get her feedback on that already. Well, into that one as well. And then any updates that our COC has in regards to the request for proposal of the white sheet wants to close out. We may not be here till 4. If not, I'm sure I'll just be grateful to go out the sunshine earlier. All right. So I'm going to just do a little context setting. And since I'm moving through this, well, actually, I guess I have to click it. Because I always feel like I click it wrong. So I do want to do a little context setting on what our goals, objectives, and action steps. And they really move the community from planning to action. So we've done all this planning since September. And we've got this wonderful plan that is just a culmination of all that planning. And these goals and objectives and action steps are really ready to move this forward. It really needs to align with the CCP's mission and vision and responds directly to the needs and gaps identified in this planning process. So hence why I'm going to show you those key things out of those qualitative questionnaires, as well as what we've heard from you all since September and your youth action board. Just some more context. So a goal identifies what is our end game and what are we trying to accomplish. So you need to have at least one goal based on that shared vision. And then the objective is, what is the reason why? What is our why with that goal? So we need to have at least one goal, one objective, and then at least one action step on how we're going to accomplish that goal for that specific goal. You can have more than one action step. I've been doing this work with YHB communities for, this is my 4th round, and my experience has been that, and I want to set some context just to help the ground into this, is that typically people have like 20 million action steps, which is great. But you also have to think about what is important right now versus what is important a year from now versus 5 years from now. And so my suggestion to you is when you think about action steps is try not to get too granular or like specific. I know these are iterative, and sometimes what you might find is that set an action step, and then once you start to dig into it, you realize that something already exists. So that action step is null and void at that point, which is fine because it's just so just to kind of something to keep in mind as we're moving into this activities, we are going to start to think about what our action steps are. Does anyone have any questions? And online folks, if you do have questions, please just go ahead and raise your hand or drop them in the chat. So I want to show you some examples from other communities just to give you some context. So this is from Vermont, and their goal is that the community will work to remove all barriers to success in education and employment for youth and young adults, and to support the pursuit of, see that? I can't see it. Of a variety of paths with an individualized approach. Their objective is to ensure that all youth and young adults in the homelessness response system have the tools and supports they need to advance or complete their education, including the GED or high school equivalency and post-secondary. Thank you. It's in my way. Maybe down there. And one of their action steps is to require that all the YHDP projects that apply for YHDP funding identify how they will provide transportation, educational employment services to youth and young adults in their programs, either directly or through an agreement with community partners. So that's a pretty prescriptive action step, but highly valuable. Okay. So then we look at Waco, which was around 3 community in Texas, and their goal is to connect all youth who are homeless to comprehensive support services, including health, education, employment, and social emotional supportive services. Their objective is to have youth have their education needs addressed efficiently and effectively. 2 of their action steps are to ensure consistent linkages of youth and schools with district homeless liaisons to ensure immediate enrollment, transportation, and other key educational needs are addressed. Also work with institutions of higher education, including community colleges, to promote access to education, including connections. And then the last one I want to show you is Detroit. They were around over 5 communities. And their goal is to provide opportunities for all youth and young adults to achieve their education and career goals by identifying and eliminating barriers to housing security and increasing opportunities to achieve economic mobility. Their objective is to promote youth empowerment by developing and leveraging robust options for education, training, and employment. Their action steps are to generate employment pathways for youth within the homeless service providers and improve referral processes across homeless education and employment systems and create pathways for work handoffs. I have more context for Detroit because I worked with them directly, because the other 2 I did not. Detroit is a unique city. Riverside is unique. So we all have our own uniqueness in our own communities. One thing that I think is that we found in Detroit that was that really elevates why they have these action steps is, as you probably know, they've had a lot of economic problems. They've declared bankruptcy multiple times in the city. They've been decimated economically. And because of that, over the past many decades, there's been these grassroots organizations that have popped up to meet the needs of the community. But what we found is a lot of people didn't talk to each other. You all have this yak meeting, and you have other places where people come together. They didn't have that. If you believe it or not, they really did not have a system in place for these systems to connect on a frequent basis. We surveyed McKinney Ventral liaisons in all around their county, many counties where Detroit is, and half of the respondents didn't know where to refer students and families to experiencing homelessness services. So that was one reason why we really focused on this being one of their goals, because there needed to be better collaboration. We're gonna pause on this because I'm gonna screen share what your current drafted goals are, that were drafted by your youth action board. Pardon me for just a minute. I'm over on the screen. Oh, what happened? Here, maybe let me stop sharing and then I will reshare. I don't know either.
Here it is. You try turning.
Sorry, friends, for joining us online. You could probably see my screen, but those joining us virtually or in person cannot. So give us just a minute.
I had no idea. Sorry for the help.
Thank you for helping.
That works.
If Nikki doesn't see you, if it's better, let's start. If it doesn't see you, I will check it. I'll say this.
As long as, but I'm hoping that, yes, I guess I just decided it wanted to take a little nap.
Is it working now? Yeah.
It is. Okay, thank you so much to Gershom. Really appreciate his technical support. All right. So we'll give folks just a minute. I think we're taking a little break. So what you'll see up on the screen for folks joining us in online, you'll see it on my shared screen. And then those joining us here with me and virtually or in person, you'll see it up here on the board up here. There's 3 goals that were identified or drafted by your youth action board. And so as we're reading these, I would encourage you to start to think about places where we can plug in education and employment into here. And we'll have some time to talk about that here shortly. But this is the housing goal. So there's 3 specific goals on different areas. And this one is the housing goal. And the goal is to strengthen connections between housing and wraparound services and increase the number of access points to ensure that they are trauma informed. You will see that the way that this is set up, and this is required by HUD, is that you have the goal, you have the objective, you have your action steps, you have your responsible partners, and the time frame in which it will be implemented. Keep in mind that these are iterative. HUD is not going to come back to you and say, well, you didn't implement this in this time. So you might find that I've had some communities who did short-term, medium-term, and long-term. What your youth action board chose to do was to state the full duration of YHDP, which could be 4 years, because this funding will get rolled into your regular COC competition after 2 years. So the objective for this housing goal is to establish safe and secure transitional housing facilities or shelters specifically designed for homeless youth. These spaces should offer not only a safe place to stay, but also access to essential services such as counseling, education, support, and job training opportunities. So for our education and employment partners in this room, the objective has already been laid out. So as we're reading through these action steps, I would encourage you to see where you have any suggested edits to these action steps or places where you can see where we can maybe make it more robust, or if it's perfect as it is, that's great too. One action step is to collaborate with local organizations, schools, and community centers to identify and reach out to youth at risk of homelessness, develop early intervention strategies and preventative measures to address underlying issues that may contribute to youth. One thing we could do with this, just as a suggestion, is you could think about how you're going to do that. You know, do that through inviting more education partners to your YAC meetings. Are you going to ask education and employment folks where you can come into their spaces to share your resources? So just something to think about is, could you add to this as to like, how are you going to make this action step a reality? The second action step is open communication channels across public services such as Riverside Transit Agency, public libraries, homeless and workforce services, community action partnership division, et cetera, to ensure accurate information is shared across multiple steps. So the responsible party is the Riverside County COC, and they're looking at the time frame to be the full duration of YHDP. The second goal is to strengthen bonds by supporting youth in their self-growth, emotional intelligence, healing, and other social emotional factors. The objective is to promote community awareness and education campaigns to destigmatize homelessness and foster a more compassionate and inclusive environment for homeless youth. Encourage community members to get involved through volunteering, mentoring, or supporting local organizations working to address this issue. The action steps that they have identified to help attain this goal is to center access to concrete wellness practices such as acupuncture, enrichment activities, and community relationships when youth are receiving support for housing. And the responsible parties are health, mental health, and substance abuse agencies. The second action step is to establish a free and safe public space for children and teenagers to spend time outside of school hours, expand those currently available to more locations, and extended hours. They're naming the responsible party as nonprofit youth organizations. And lastly, the education and employment goal is to mentor advocates to work with youth to connect with services, housing resources, and to build bonds and supports. The objective is to mentor and or advocate youth and get them efficiently connected to services, housing resources, while building bonds and supports. The action step is to provide comprehensive life skills, education, and training programs that focus on teaching self-discipline, decision-making, and personal development. This includes workshops, mentorship programs, or structured curricula aimed at building self-esteem, resilience, and positive mindsets among at-risk youth. They have named the responsible party as the WIOA, which stands for Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act boards and employment agencies. And it would go for the full duration of this program. So does anyone have any questions before I introduce us to our activity? Okay. Has this helped kind of get your brain maybe thinking on how you could plug in some pieces in here? I'm looking very specifically at this education and employment goal. I think there's an opportunity based on what I'm going to share with you here in a moment to maybe expand on this, to have it be a little more encompassing of the education employment system as well. Yeah. Oh, no, we're good. Thank you, though. We got it all done. I appreciate that, though, so much. Thank you so much, Amy. I will. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. My brain is not in full function mode right now. And that is, I don't want that. Okay, so let me go back to my. So what I'm going to have you all do, and for those joining us virtually, it's always fun when it does that. I'm going to give you a Jamboard here in a moment, but let me get the in-person folks all set up, and then I'll explain to all of us joining virtually how you can do this activity together in the virtual space. So I will be back in just a moment. So I would ask for all of you to get more comfortable with each other and just have a few tables where you can interact a little bit more. Countries of flavor. It's I think she will just
I don't know where they're set.
So here's what I'm asking you to do. In the middle of your table is going to see utilities of paper. And I do apologize for those of you who don't have the best vision like me. They're all kind of small, but I can leave them on one sheet of paper. And you also have some tape. Up there on the flip chart, you will see a paper that says primary, secondary, and tertiary. So what the activity is you've got about 20 minutes to look at these pieces of paper that are sitting in front of you and decide what level of importance, we shouldn't say importance, these are all important. But in terms of like, we're going to develop some action steps or build off of the action steps we have now. What is more priority right now? Keep in mind that the ones that are going to go on the outside of this first circle, this tertiary, it's not that they're not important. It just means that we're going to hold off for a minute. And what I'll do is I'll put them all on a list. And it's something that as you're all going into implementing these things from here soon, that you can pull them in the time comes. So they're not lost and they're not important. It just means that there's some other things that are taking precedence right now. So deliberate among your tables, talk with each other and decide as a group where they should fit on that board. So if it is educate, I'm just going to grab the top. If it is education and career readiness programming, if you feel like as a group that is a secondary thing right now, take it back and stick it in the secondary. If you feel like financial literacy classes are a primary thing, take your tape and stick it in the primary. So when you're ready, just go ahead and put them up there. You've got 20 minutes for some context setting. Where these came from was, do you remember those qualitative questionnaires that we did? One of them went to Hammond Unified, so were responded by 49 youth and adults. Most of them were under the age of 18. Good work, by the way, Gershon, Bar, and me for doing that. It's awesome. And then we had, I believe it was 6 or 7 respondents who were between the ages of 18 and 24. And then we had approximately 20 responses from education partners from K-12 and higher education. So these are all the key themes that came from the recurring themes that came from the responses to those questionnaires. So this is what your community is telling you is missing or that they need. So does anyone have questions? I appreciate it. Thanks, Nick. All right. All right, so those joining us virtually, I am going to drop a link in the chat to a Jamboard. Give me just a minute. And I see Kimberly Thomas. Kimberly's here. Hello, Kim. All right, so actually, I'm going to take myself off camera for a minute. So hopefully you can hear me okay, because I know there's some background noise, but I just dropped a link in the chat to the Jamboard. I'm also going to, and I know, Kim, this might be a little hard for you because I know you're in the car, but this will be open for a few days, so you can come back to it. Just like,
I see.
So away. Oh, this thing always makes me crazy. Sorry, give me just a second. I'm having technical difficulties. I want this to go away. This is where I miss Zoom and then there it goes. So I'm going to drop in the chat for you as well. If you all can see my screen. What I handed to the in-person folks was these boxes. I cut them up into separate pieces of paper for each box. These are the needs that your community has identified through qualitative questionnaires. So my ask is that you look over this list and you decide, either you can deliberate amongst each other, come off mute, chat with each other, do it via chat, or if you'd rather work on your own, that's fine too, is take each of these as you feel like is important. So if support accessing resources is a very high important priority for you and you think it should be high priority, then you come into the Jamboard and you drop it in here on a sticky note. So you would add in here, support accessing resources. And save it. If you feel like education and career readiness programming is more of a secondary high level of importance right now, you're going to drop it in here. If you feel like transition planning for youth and young adults falls more into the tertiary, so it is very important, but it's not something that you feel like we should focus our efforts on right now necessarily. Go ahead and drop it on the tertiary. Does that make sense for everybody? Does anybody have any questions?
I just can't see the screen.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I just went through all that and you couldn't see it. Oh, I know what happened. I am like having some screen sharing issues. Let's try this again.
I thought it was just me.
No, thank you, Ty. I appreciate you telling me that. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Thank you for telling me. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Good. Okay, so I dropped the link to the Jamboard in the chat. I'm going to drop the link to this document in the chat. Oh, Ty, I like your little, I can't see with eyes. That's cute. Okay, so the Jamboard has 3 different boards. It has 4, but we're not coming to the 4th one yet. We're going to work in 1, 2, and 3. So you'll see it says primary, secondary, and tertiary. So these are what you feel like is what is priority right now based on what is on this piece of paper right here. So each of these is its own piece of paper that I cut up and gave to our in-person folks. So I didn't do that for you all because that would be difficult. So if you feel like education and career readiness program is something that is important, but you don't feel like it is high priority right now, maybe you feel like it's a secondary priority. So you're going to drop it on this page. If you feel like transition planning for youth and young adults, well, again, very important. It might not take a high level importance to you versus other things that are on that list. You might stick it in the tertiary. It's important, but it's something that you feel like maybe we need to focus on here in a little bit after we address some of these larger primary issues first. So these, what you see on this page, these identified needs, these all came from the qualitative questionnaires and the conversations that we distributed to youth young adults at Hemet Unified District in February, and the responses from education at in school districts and in higher education, what their responses were to what your community has stated that they need, or where is the gaps in your system, from not only educators, but also youth and young adults. So does that make sense? Does anyone have questions? Well, I invite you all to use the chat to chat with each other if you would like to talk about it, or it's totally fine if you want to work on this on your own. And I'll give you all about 20 minutes. So we'll come back together at, and I know my clock is on Eastern time. So at 2:25. So I'll keep watching the chat. I'm going to go off camera and I'll keep watching the chat to see if any questions come up, or you can just come off mute and just shout out at me. All right, are we good?
Yes, yes.
Say that again, Kim.
Yes, I think I
Okay.
have a good understanding. Thanks. Do we want to try and work together on this, the people that are online?
Yes, I can definitely explain the primary again. So the primary is those gaps or needs that are on the identified needs document that you feel like are really important that we start to think about how to address now. They're high level of importance to you. And then the secondary is, yes, they're still important, but maybe not quite as a big priority as the primary, and tertiary means that they're not quite as priority for you for the secondary or the primary, but still important. Does that help answer your question? What I've done here.
Rather than this. I don't know, and no one does it there. You actually know. Choosing one person in each of them.
There can be many.
Okay.
Yeah, there can be many.
You're not understand what's slow. You're not gonna be asked to what's like. Exactly. Just gonna go grab. Yes. Right, because I'm thinking, you guys are, they have to. And the next thing like actually always are. Whenever this. Baby child, because my baby and I wanted to try and see my baby. I want to see the motivation to be in it. One question, it's like, right now, we're using what the usually factors.
Is confirmed in that.
Can we do an online friends?
Going good, going good. I'm just reading through all of them really.
Oh, good. Okay.
So if we don't amazing is that president. Yeah. So I still wonder that. Really nice.
Yeah.
This.
These are hard.
I know.
It's not fair.
I probably should have mentioned your brains are just working really hard this afternoon. But I have treats. I'm gonna be giving treats out.
Oh, you have treats.
I do, I have treats. Prizes.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Do you all need 5 more minutes or we could?
Yeah, what you're gonna say next.
5 more minutes? Okay. All right, online folks, we have one more group that would like 5 more minutes. So I did say 25 after, so just kind of giving you a 5-minute warning.
Yeah, it's like it's a design, the box to be the first time.
All right, 3 more minutes? Oh, look at you. All right, online friends, we're gonna wrap up this here in just a minute. And we're gonna move into an activity on frame 4 here that I'm showing you, but I'll explain it here in just a moment. So if there is any confusion, I think my ask is that you basically just copy and paste what is on this page and put it to what is of relevance of important priority to you on the frames on the Jam board. That way there's just consistency of what has been the responses were in those questionnaires. So like this is one that came off that identified needs document that I had shared in the chat. So I'm going to pull all of our online posts together and we'll be back in just a minute. Now one more to finish it out. That's the next one.
So I think that's good. I think we'll figure it out. Hold on, I haven't read it. Okay, first one. Okay, got it. Yes. It was before COVID, I thought she would be very high. Hopefully.
All right.
See, it's not a unique situation.
So how was this activity for you all?
Challenging.
It's challenging, fact.
Well, for me, it was how I was interpreting what's being said,
Yeah.
and I don't know, everything about my time taken.
Absolutely. Anyone else have anything they want to add? Yes, yes, let me- Just one. So,
Yeah, I believe it's actually showing a lot of things that were showing, so, overall, talking that, academically, health crises that CPS are more involved, child protective services, you'll ask the kids and the youth and classmates that, there's so many struggles in health because environments, energy issues, financial issues, et cetera, on them. So that's what we can all talk about.
For us to, I think, is here, from two perspective of how, yes, it's all very much part of the, it's right, but what I like that they brought to the table was that, basic needs. And get all the basic, with the basic, like, get a home, get like a home, food. For someone to stay in, that's a lot of place, that's good space, and then go on to, okay, now and then, interesting. So, like they were saying, they had, their individual, young person who were working connected with, and then they lost, like, we can't find them, so now, although they have those resources, they can't locate. They do, the other young adults or from the individual.
What are their goals to do that?
It's something that there's like how clear or how.
I can't continue that, right?
So that's how like that you're sticking with that. Number ones and number ones where the basic needs. Food, shelter, food. Any comment that we're that for us is number one. Awesome.
Anyone else want to?
So, I know like in our group, we talked about how these things was a priority. Those are the primaries. But kind of brought up the point, she's like, it's also this like connectivity to the parent, which sparked the conversation of how, yes, basic needs are primary, like that's, you can't think about education, like, if you're worried about food, you're worried about the same. But providing those basic needs need that synchronization, that foundation of communication across the course. So we kind of saw that even though basic needs is a priority, it's more of a secondary, maybe it's in order to provide that information. Families need to have that systemization, that liaison, being having that information, having the internet so that families can access it. Because a lot of intakes are not online, a lot of data is online. Like I use the example of like my dad going to the dentist to do this check in, it's on tablet, and that's not even a basic need, but he's not even good because he doesn't have those basic technology things. And we kind of assume that a lot of people have those technologies. So, and then we assume that people have access to it, or we assume that people have access to the internet. And we tell them, here, you know, these people don't give you like clothing resources, and they're just like, cool, I don't have a phone, I don't have an email address, I'm in Homeland, and there's that's not type of thing. So we kind of solve that more as like, gotta build that foundation across town resources, internet connection, that transportation, and then you can provide those basic resources and education. So it kind of like, I like that kind of brought up, like, they kind of switching mind, and I think I have that mind shift of like, we want to apply this, how
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to add to that, in fact, I think that also even though we can provide those days of weeks for those families between 3 months, instantaneously, their mind's gonna go, well, what are we gonna do now? So it's not just giving it to them for that moment, we have to show them also how to sleep. Give them the resources to be able to sleep. Because in certain cases, them, all they're thinking about is, oh my God, I only got 2 weeks, I only got 2 weeks, and that's where the stress can be.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Just want to turn it to our online friends. Is there anything you want to share about this activity? You can come off mute or drop in the chat if you'd like. Well, if anything comes up, please go ahead and use the chat function and I will definitely keep an eye on it. Okay, so our online folks only had a couple of places where they populated the primary. So I'm going to go over there and read what you all had here in just a minute. But there was an elevation of resources and education in the primary and nothing in secondary or tertiary. But this is going to be open for till next week. So people can add to this as they're ready. And I'm happy to share this Jamboard too. So what you all put in. We're gonna put some what we have secondary tertiary and documents, so we don't lose it. There's things to do back to the kind of training already. Next week still is a time. So what we have on primary is accessing support, accessing resources, so I see that multiple times. I
think that was what we noticed the primary stage building to be able to lose, but.
Okay, so we'll go there. So we have internet connectivity, access to technology, primary issues. Systems to improve collaboration, so like having systems happier, people access to services, destigmatizing homelessness, humanizing individuals to access to services. Transportation, mental health supports, health support and basic needs, access to resources and food support to people who have a disability. Stable housing, access to temporary housing options. And so if I was to sum this up based on what we all put, I see internet connectivity and micro access to technology, destigmatizing homelessness, wellness education opportunities, lack of basic needs, lack of stable housing, lack of access to technical housing, and access to resources to eliminate the disability. So now here is one project, so it doesn't mean the hard deed. So my next activity for you all, if we're going to pass this supposed to go, she's and then pull another board over here, and we're going to put what's on the primary, and we're going to turn it into action sets. So you're going to write the action sets on a post-it note, and we're going to put them on this guy. So these are high level. So one thing I want to know is that, and making my comment on this. Destigmatizing homelessness, humanizing individuals, advocacy, and resources. Also, see doctors. Here my else struggles serious. Right. So that is another reason why I wanted to brand the these. So if you want to high level, this is an opportunity to be doing I totally acknowledge that, it's the sick ones, and one develop a giant strategic plan behind it, plus the amount of assessment is ridiculous. Myself, and Vicky, and Aaron, and the rest of us, everybody sat in the cut last November. It's not great. We're upset, we're frustrated, communities for 7 rounds now, in this very short time. It's a lot. It's a lot to pass, and so. Us, some of this might just be. Yeah, and that's okay. So maybe think about action steps that back to, is it finding things? Is it having, missionaries? Is it investors? How can we get more information from the what this is and how we can get out of it? To need to be the policy, how we're asking these questions, now. I feel like this is now kind of high on the list for how it's yesterday. I've been proud of here. And about a week is not my mom and stuff. So of course, everything's in it. So I had to go get another temporary driver's license, which hasn't been picked up. Well, I got married and I shoot 3 weeks ago. So my passport reflects the normal. And my secretary driver's license wasn't my picture. So I went to PSA, got 2 different security lines. Not moving around all the times, and finally, my heart's been doing it, I was getting frustrated, I had 6 forms of ID, 2 different names on it, and I think anybody's actually treating that person. And I remember standing there after I got shooed away, I can't do that for me right now, I'm not supposed to be still standing there. Okay, I don't know, and it was rude, very rude, and I remember standing there. I can imagine somebody who doesn't have any restriction, doesn't want to be getting involved. Or I have children to work with, and they're shooting me away. That way, once we go. That would make me want to walk out the doors and just say, you know what, fine, I'll do it myself. So I just really took that moment to pause and be like, this is not an influence situation. This isn't like frustrated, but I can't imagine having to deal with that type of interaction. I'm thinking, and that's embarrassing. And I think it's embarrassing. It's hard to ask for this. So I use that as an example to think about what we can do to destigmatize this. So I'm going to pass out some Post-it notes. I know better ways to do this. So you can watch about further do this. Well, I guess we can put right into town. It's right down I don't know. So it was more access and services. It was not basic needs and stable housing. And anyone needs to go to these bathrooms.
System level integration, and so it's like one money. How do I CPLs, educators, non-profit service providers, all of them work together to support any folks, happens to produce regular voting differences. Right, especially for their raising opportunities. So for us, it's also like setting out the integration. Yeah. And then the type of information, how long, what is funding, just like funding they get, so they use it for what it is. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The American Rescue Plan is sharing policy on student activities, it's pretty good solutions. And one of the big things is still there. It's or the contract with somebody else, maybe some information, help me go to subsidize to get everything inside of your city safe. So still not right? But they are students. So how do you
Everybody can solve that, helping you find that, that's right, in all the times to do what the days is. It's absolutely. I think it's. They're states, but not the states. Transportation is a problem. It's really related with one school districts I know of, so the Boise Village Girls Club and Times. That can be about. Yes, which, yeah, in my mind is like. But I am not. Oh. I want
Takes like, that's not.
People, but have to be. Here's your, something. Oh, yes. Who's doing should be quiet. Let me buy super late before I. It's only from one time, it was very. I think it's one of those, it's 2 buses. So, and that's really.
Right, I believe you are actually looking at. At the confidence, so the non-confidence. Is. Well.
I do that.
You provide certification, but.
Yep. Right. How much? We did love that. Great.
Yeah, I think it's hard, I mean, I just do it around. And I think so for you, I did. I was kind of just trying to think about how long. Nice things, you know, in the past.
Especially when it's all. All right, well, what's the posted? So here's your next activity. So I wrote down, so we're kind of narrowing it, right? So these are what you've all put as the primary pieces of the class right now. So my activity for you for the next 20 minutes is to develop action steps. Remember, keep time up. You don't have to get too granular. But you don't have to. And I want you to put your action steps on here. I know this is small, and I'm sorry. I think I know, yeah. Sorry. But I understand. Yeah, let's say it. So you're gonna put these in the bucket, and I know that these, I understand there's tons of categories of students, speaking on goals, pregnant, parenting. Those are high level. You have teaching my goals to the facility, we have student, you know, I have a, it's negative, identifies the LGBTQ for us. I just want to do these high level, but I know that these are not inclusive of everything. So, and then here are some, here are other buckets. Is it improving referral protocols? Is it developing, improving partnerships? Is it increasing awareness to build resources? We've got a lot earlier. What here was some people thought that they needed was they needed to know the right is out there. We wanted to be able to provide more information on what they do. So if it stays stable housing, well, is there an action step that fits the students and improving referral protocols? Stick the action step there. That make sense? You don't have to know the sun. Sometimes it's better to not have the sun. We also might have some that's pretty simple. So we'll narrow down. All right, go to it. That's 20 minutes. On minutes.
Yeah, they lost their teacher. What actions have I done recently? No, my stuff where is it? And I know.
Different actions, that's means. And then when you decide if it's having the rate updation, it's nice. And I get it. So, like, it's education. I think it's going to be like, so that's the it's education. And has be improving this. So the time and the other side as the service. I don't know what the organization does.
We're getting a lead out there. And then so try to do some doing all insurance.
And I know that they might not be big off.
Right, so like this education and I but understand that it's
Yeah, and but what would be a action study for us? And that action study would be.
Yeah, and not just this policy, but not about. Family transportation. And more about.
So the action study would be the right to chapters. Transportation, it could be filling out, or they should have transition not be I don't know what if they were one of the first Friday thoughts. Like, those are sounds and this is. I know. So. We got the breakdown of the. I love that. So I need to think about it. You know, it's looking at things to think about. We don't have to rely on that each day. Yeah, I can. Okay, online friends. I think I've lost some of you. If you're still with me and you can see my screen, we're going to move to a new activity. My screen has been really wonky. So if you can see this, what we're doing now is we're generating some solutions. So I know we didn't get too many responses on the Jamboard. So my suggestion is to pull from what you feel like is important from this document that I shared earlier. And I can drop it in the chat again. To add to, so if you see, and I know many YAB members are going to hop on for the tax preparation meeting here in just a moment, but if lack of basic needs, if you can think of an action step for how to address that, and it fits in, do we need to improve referral protocols? Like, do we need to improve referral protocols from your high school to post-secondary institutions or like workforce? So if so, that's an action step. So you can put that on a sticky note. That could be an action step. So you pull that over here. If it's improving referral protocols or developing or improving partnerships.
This educational opportunities. By improving the
use the YAB meetings to
Write it down.
That could be an action step. Increasing awareness of services. It could be.
There's always this really long and so this it's that's what I think we always so big because we can be seeing it. Like that's if we have to develop initiatives partnerships. Improving partnerships.
But it is, it's not.
I mean,
So that's.
I've
seen it.
like this for 3 days. Oh, my God. Backlash.
That's been much still.
Yeah. You know. There's, yeah.
Are you rich?
My mom did. I will change fees for him. She's still my. Oh, Their documentation, they. And a lot of these on their. You know,
Yes.
even better, you tell people that it's really. Okay. Now, just. We'll have to take into how the confusion is. Really?
Maybe send it.
It also works on her. We want to see we'll actually like Karen using what the senior. The system of liaisons, so we're not. Oh, I was just saying. I think this. Senator of being able to be seated here in the, people. I can see them in. And you would say, well, I'll see you. I think we have to see, like, I think this partnership. Oh, this was great. It's like, no, it's partnership. Yes. Oh.
I mean, it's still.
I will.